Gambia has filed a genocide lawsuit at the UN's top court accusing Myanmar of carrying out mass killings of the Rohingya Muslim minority. The motion was filed on the behalf of the 57 member states of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation.
Gambia's Justice Minister Abu Bakr Tambadou said an urgent temporary injunction has been sought in an attempt to stop Myanmar from committing further atrocities. Both Gambia and Myanmar are signatories to the 1948 Genocide Convention, which compels all parties to prevent and punish the crime of genocide. More than 700,000 Rohingya Muslims fled Myanmar in 2017 after a brutal military operation in the northern Rakhine state. Last year, a UN fact-finding mission said Myanmar's military campaign was orchestrated with genocidal intent against Rohingyas. The UN mission recommended that genocide charges be brought against Myanmar's military chief Min Aung Hlaing and 5 other generals.
For more on this, we are joined by our correspondent, Mia Alberti in Brussels. Mia, please tell us more about the petition filed by Gambia on the behalf of the OIC.
So as you just said, this is on behalf of 57 other countries, so this is actually an international cry against Myanmar. And the question about why is also related to who is behind this. And that's the Gambia's Minister of Justice and current Attorney General. He was part of the Rwanda genocide case in the United Nations, and he visited a Rohingya refugee camp quite recently, and he says that he was shocked by what he saw and that he had to act. And today, talking in The Hague, as he filed this lawsuit, he said that it would be a shame for our generation if the world looked at these atrocities and didn't act. So what they are accusing Myanmar of is rape, murder, ethnic cleansing, and many other crimes. So they are hoping that the International Criminal Justice Court will be able to accept this case.
Okay, Gambia's Justice Minister Abu Bakr Tambadou said an urgent temporary injunction has been sought in an attempt to stop Myanmar from committing further atrocities. Now, would you elaborate on this particular thing, how the ICJ is going to proceed with this particular thing if it accepts the petition?
So what they are hoping is, actually what they are afraid of is that Myanmar is destroying evidence of these crimes and destroying the possibility of a future investigation. We know that there have been Rohingya villages that have been destroyed, burned to the ground, witnesses that might have been killed. So what they are asking the international community is to force Myanmar to stop what they're doing right now, to give a chance for a fair trial with evidence in the future. But of course the question here is that the ICJ actually has no practical jurisdiction to mandate Myanmar to do anything, just to create more pressure. So I think the difficulty will be that even if the court accepts this request for the immediate halt on damaging actions in Myanmar, Myanmar is not actually compelled to follow through with it.
Okay, Mia, there have been earlier reports by the United Nations that the military in Myanmar was involved in the war crimes against the Rohingya minority over there. So if this petition is taken up by the ICJ, so can we expect a proper trial for all those war crimes as well at the ICJ?
So I think that's the importance of this case. If the ICJ accepts this case and decides to sentence against Myanmar, in practical terms, like I said, they don't have any means to impose it, but they can influence more international pressure against Myanmar, the government in Myanmar, and they can also influence the parallel case going on in the International Criminal Court. And they do have the power to sentence war criminals, including for the crimes of genocide. So whatever the ICJ decides can influence and result in a direct sentencing by the ICC.
Thank you, Mia, for joining us from Brussels, our correspondent joining us from Brussels, as Gambia has filed a petition in the UN's top court asking for an injunction to stop Myanmar from committing a genocide against the Rohingya minority Muslims over there.